New year, new beginnings, new thinking, new feelings, new surroundings, new people. If you live a life where you need things to change, you ain't happy where you at, then don't let this year be the same, man. You're gonna have to start with new thoughts. The new thoughts is the source of whatever you're gonna create in life this year. Because if you're thinking the same as last year, all you're gonna get is the same results. You're gonna have to think differently. You're gonna have to have new thoughts. If you wanna create something new, if you wanna create something different, you're gonna have to have new thoughts in your mind. You're gonna have to put new imagery in your mind. You're gonna have to think something different. And when I say think, how do we think? We think in mental images, meaning pictures in our mind. It's the pictures in our mind that dictate how we feel, and how we feel dictates what we do. So if we want to change how we feel, we're going to have to change what we see in our mind about ourselves, about the world out here. If you want to feel different and you want to do something different, you're going to have to think differently. Because what you think in your mind is going to determine how you feel. It's going to determine the vibration that you're in the body. Because the mind is nothing but a controller of the body. So we have to think differently in the mind, which is going to put our body in a certain vibration, which is going to make us act in a different way, which is then going to give us a different reaction from the universe, from people, from our environment, from conditions, from things. Once we get that different reaction, then we're going to get a different result. That's how it works. Thinks, thoughts, feelings, actions. If we want to create something differently in our life, we can't do it with the same thinking process that has got us to a point where we feel like we want to create something different. We can't do it the same way. You got to do something different. You can't create or fix an issue in the same frequency of the person that created it. So you're going to have to elevate your thinking. You're going to have to elevate your frequency. You're going to have to think on the frequency of the person that you want to become, that you want to be, of the person that you want to change, right? Or you want to change into. You're going to have to think in that frequency of the person. So it all starts with your thoughts, man. It all starts with your thinking. You have to consistently put something new into your mind. You have to consistently think differently and stop thinking about the old way, which is like the definition of insanity. Thinking or doing something the same thing over and over again, but you're expecting some kind of different result. You're expecting something different, right? You cannot afford to think things into your mind that are not congruent with the person that you want to be or the things that you want to create in life. Yap it. I mean, can't afford it. You can't afford to be thinking failure in your mind. You can't afford to be thinking of things not working out, of relationships going sour, of business partners not doing what they need to do, your business not succeeding, you not doing the things that you need to do, things not happening for you. You can't afford to have mental thoughts and imagery and mental video in your mind about things not going right. Everything goes right for you. Everything always works out for you. Everything positive always goes your way. This is how you must think. Because if you think this way, it's going to make you feel like everything always works out. It's going to make you feel good. And if you feel good, you do good, right? You feel bad, you feel negative, you're going to in turn do something bad or negative, right? And outside of that, you are the one that determines what is bad or what is negative and what is positive for you in your life. What's positive for me may be negative for you. You're the one that determines that. You, in your side of your consciousness, decide what is good, what is bad. If something happens to you, you equate it as bad, right? But there's positive and there's good in everything, every situation. It's just all about how your perspective and how you're looking at it, right? You create conditions in your life. You create circumstances. You create things to happen. This is your life. It's all on you. And if you take responsibility that you create everything, then you can change something, right? But if you think things happen outside of you, if you think people do things to you, if you think that things just happen and you have no control over them, then what can you do about that? You have no control over your life. Things just happen to you. People just do things to you. The world is just moving on along and you're just a feather in the wind. But it doesn't work like that. We create things, we create conditions, we create the reactions that we get from people, from the universe, based on our own mental imagery, our own thoughts, based on how we see the world, based on how we see ourselves, based on how we view other people, with our own mental imagery of somebody else or of ourselves. Those things make us feel a certain way. And if we feel a certain way about anything, we're going to move and act in that way. We're going to move and act in a way. Just for example, if we're fearful of something, right? If we're fearful to, fear is nothing. It's never good to move in fear, right? It's never good to move in these negative emotional states. Fear, jealousy, doubt, worry. These things in turn, if we're thinking that in our mind, because at the end of the day, if we're fearful, what is fear, right? It's a false experience appearing real. So we're thinking of something in our mind that is a result that we don't want, right? Say you're fearful of dogs, right? Why are you fearful of dogs? And maybe you're thinking something in your mind that you're gonna get bit, right? Dogs gonna come up to you, and you're having images in your mind of something bad happening, which is why you would feel fearful. The thought comes before the feeling. So you're feeling something negative in your mind. You're feeling something bad happening, or you getting or physical harm or something of that nature, and it's causing you to feel a certain way. So if you feel that certain way, now you're going to take a certain action that is a result of the fear. You're going to do something that if you weren't fearful, you wouldn't have done, right? And in turn, that action that you took, being fearful, probably attracted more fear to you, attracted an experience that showed you more fear, or attracted an experience that confirmed that fear, that negativity that you had, just based on you moving in the fear. This is why you can't think and take actions from lower emotional states, especially thinking something in your mind that hasn't even happened yet, and then taking actions based on that. That's going to give you a negative result. If you're thinking negative, you're going to do negative, and it's going to bring back negativity to you. But if you want to do something positive, right? If you think something positive in your mind, whether it's actually true or it has happened in reality, you could think something in your mind positive the same way that you think something negative. And then now you're going to feel positive, or you're going to feel good, and you're going to take actions that are congruent to what you're thinking, right? Which is in turn going to give you a better, positive, good result, because you're taking actions. Man, it's kind of windy. You're taking actions that are positive based on a positive imagery that you had in your mind. So this is why they tell you, especially in the law of attraction manifestation community, is you can't look at your outside appearances. You can't look at your conditions. You can't look at the things going on in your life. You have to think greater. If you want to change your life, if things aren't going the way that you want them to do, you can't think about the negativity. You can't think about things not working out. You can't think about these things. You have to ignore that 3D outside world. Because if you focus on these things, you're going to feel away, right? If you're in lack, you're going to feel lack. Therefore, you're going to take lack actions, and you're just going to get more lack. So even if you are in your reality, because there is no lack, right? It's actually it's wrong thinking. There's no lack out here. Look at this shit, man. This is abundance. The world is abundance in nature. It is abundant. We live in a very abundant world. So if you believe lack, it is just wrong thinking inside of your mind. If you think lack, you'll be in lack, right? But if you elevate your consciousness outside of yourself, outside of your current conditions, if you close your eyes and you think something greater, you think something higher, and you think higher of people, you think higher of your conditions, right? You're going to in turn take a higher result. You're going to think higher, you think greater, you'll be greater. You'll do greater, right? This is why you can't get caught up in what you see. You have to be able to close your mind and think of what you want, and think of the great things in life. You have the ability. Your imagination is wonderful. It's magnificent. And whether you realize it or not, we create based on our imagination. So if we think negative, if we have negative imagery, if we do negative things, negativity is going to come upon us. We must think greater. We must do greater. We must believe greater. And if we believe greater, then we'll be greater. That's typically how it works. That really is how it works in general, period. So it's just my video, man. It's a new year. It's a new start. It's 2026. Do something different if you want a different result. Don't do the same things. Don't think the same things, thinking that you're going to get something different. That is the definition of insanity. But it starts with the thoughts that you're thinking. It starts with the thoughts that you're having. It starts with the imagery, because we think in images. The mind thinks in images. We need pictures. The pictures that we have in our mind make us feel away. So don't start the year off by thinking the same things. You have to think differently. You have to have different mental imagery in your mind, right? And this, getting control of the imagination, that's what it is all. This is the mental control. You have to be able to control your mind and keep your mind from thinking negative thoughts, from thinking imagery that you don't want to see in your life. You have to be a mental bodyguard, and to be able to control your mind to keep you from thinking things like that. But yo, man, this is my video to start off the year, 2026. Blessings, prosperity, more life, more abundance to you. And I'm going to see y'all on the flip side. This is your boy, Rob Millionaire, man.